What's going on? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the boxing clinic. One time for the one time. We right back at that ass with another video. Um, no big boxing this week, but we got some good fights coming up as well. With the Lima Welch Tank Davis fight, with the split venue card with Gary Russell and the other guy he fighting Escalado. Sorry if I butchered his name, but Errol the Troop Spence, we know he has a big test coming up with Kell Brook. And Kell Brook's one of those guys that, he's legit in my book. By beating Sean Porter in the fashion that he did beat Sean Porter in. I didn't think he would have beat Sean Porter just for the simple fact that he had, I said time and time again, he pulled out so many different fights, 2 times with Devin Alexander. Then I think they postponed the Sean Porter fight once. He fell out, and then he pulled out Diego Chavez after that. Then he pulled before then he got cut in the leg after the Sean Porter fight. Then, rumored agreements, talks fell apart with Tim Bradley, fell apart with Brandon Rios. So everybody knows his track record that's familiar with the sport of boxing and familiar with Kell Brook. But he's legit, man. Other 2 guys on the side of this picture to the left are legit too. Keith Thurman's legit. Manny Pacquiao, of course, he's a legendary legit. We talk about them a little later. But Errol Spence is looking to gain legitimacy by gaining a world title versus a real world title, world-class fighter, which is kind of rare. A lot of these guys get their belts handed to them. Errol fought his way up to IBF top 10 the hard way. Wasn't nothing handed to him. He didn't get a Mayweather Gerardo Hernandez deal where, he got into the top 10 barely, and then the champion, gave him a shot. Nobody gave Errol Spence anything. He fought the mandatories. He fought everybody the section the body wanted to fight. He passed the rehydration clause of the IBF every time he was in that belt, So, he did it the right way. He did it the hard way. Nobody wanted to give him any handouts to give him a quick way. So, at the end of the day, he's very confident that he's going to go over there to the UK and beat Kell Brook, as a lot of people is. People over there in the UK think Errol Spence is going to tap Kell Brook. People in America that think a lot of people in America think Errol Spence is going to tap Kell Brook's ass. But basically, shout out to Villain 5 Media and Correa with the question. I guess Errol Spence just had another media day. I don't know if this is old, but I guess it must have been pretty recent. I think he's at the Hit Factory or Bomb Factory gym. Heard it's a good gym down there in Dallas. Trained by Derek James, you know what it is. But he was asked, about the whole Keith Thurman situation. He said this is the Kell Brook fight. He said this is the last fight that he's going to wait for. He said he's not waiting. He's going to be active when he gets this belt. And he said he's not going to wait around for guys anymore. He said if the Keith Thurman fight don't come through, which Keith Thurman has been very reluctant to fight Errol Spence. And if you don't know, when Keith Thurman after he was supposed to debut versus Marcos Maidana on HBO. Marcos Maidana, pulled out. Thought it was too dangerous. I think he fought Humberto Soto. I think that's who he fought. And he called out Mayweather. Everybody act like he was crazy. And basically Keith Thurman is doing the same thing to Errol Spence. Want to see if he can climb the ranks. And when he has to cross that road, he will. He's not going to cross that road prematurely with Errol Spence. And I think it's a threat. And Correa, IOBTA, pointed out that in the Showtime interview on the Berto Porter card that, Keith Thurman seemed a little timid, why Errol Spence was next to him. He wasn't talking all that shit he was talking before. And Errol Spence, kind of brushed it off. Was like, it is what it is. He said, I'm not going to wait around for these guys anymore. He said, if, the Keith Thurman fight don't fall through, let's make the Pacquiao fight. Now, the Keith Thurman fight should be, next, or Keith Thurman and Pacquiao and Errol Spence. One thing I know for sure is that Pacquiao ain't fighting Errol Spence. It's too much of a risk. You see, he's just in it for the money now. I keep talking. He can make 140. He's been, dodging Terrence Crawford. He's been, talking about Mikey Garcia, talking shit about Linares, talking about moving up to Canelo about a couple years ago to fight Canelo. He's not taking no risk that he doesn't have to right now. That he knows he's definitely not going to win. He's in it for the money. But the Keith Thurman Errol Spence fight should definitely, be next on the top of 2018. But at the end of the day, he said he ain't waiting for nobody no more. So if the Keith Thurman fight don't come through, I'm trying to make the Pacquiao fight. If the Pacquiao fight don't fall through, I don't know what his next plans are, what to do, but at the end of the day, this guy got an agenda. He's not going to be like Anthony Joshua and get a title and only fight 2 times a year. He wants to continue fighting and be active. So, let's go.